Good afternoon, and welcome to the Modax Consulting presentations on Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central. Today, we're going to be taking a look at some contact and marketing campaign information. We're going to take a look at the process of creating contacts, sending quotes to those contacts, as opposed to quotes to customers. We're going to be looking at marketing campaigns and how you select contacts for your marketing campaigns. So we're looking at Business Central. This is the Sales Manager Role Center. Previous presentation, I did talk about customer contacts, so I want to circle back there for just a couple minutes here. Within a customer, you have a list of contacts, and these are employees of the so on. And there is the company contact as well as people contacts. And we can see if we dig into a contact, there's various details, as well as there's a history, interaction log entries that can be tracked. For example, we've sent a quote to this specific person not too long ago. In addition, the contacts here, we can take a look and see if there's a much larger number of quotes that have gone out. That interaction history applies regardless of whether this is a customer contact like this example or something else. So that was customer contacts. Contacts in general, this would be your list of people you got from a trade show, your prospects, suspects, that kind of stuff. You can add a new contact directly from this contact screen, not the customer screen. And we can fill in various details about this particular contact. In this case, I'm choosing a type of company, and normally you would go ahead and fill in the address and so on, which I'm just going to skip in the interest of time here. On this contact for this company, there's a profile questionnaire step down here that lets you track additional information for this particular company. You get to define what's in this profile. The out-of-the-box one has some very basic stuff, how many people and so on, and you can choose options here. You can add more, of course. In this case, we now have a range of numbers. And of course, the normal attachments, links, notes, and stuff works like that for contacts as well. So I've created a new contact. He's somebody that we're going to send a quote to. So I'm going to go through that process. Note that he's not a customer yet. At the moment, we have no sales quotes. I am going to make a new quote. And I'm just going to press tab. Because I came in from that contact, it automatically make a sales quote for Bob's Bakery. Even though it says customer name here, he's not a customer yet. You can see that because the customer number is blank. So I could fill in the rest of the information here. Oh, sorry, notice it did pull an address and stuff like that, of course. The only other thing that needs to be done when you're creating a quote for a contact is to fill in the customer template code. So these are the same templates you would use for speeding up your customer creation process. This customer template code will get used if you win this business and this contact becomes a customer. And I'm just going to go ahead and very quickly fill in some rest of the quote details. And if I was to preview this, notice I'm logging the interaction here. That's the screen we looked at earlier. And when this pops up, we can see various is pulled in contact address and so on. This Bob's Bakery is happy, you win the business. You now would turn that quote into a sales order. The normal question of, yes, I want to convert it. This new question will appear. Do you want to make this contact into a customer immediately? Doing that will create Bob's Bakery into a customer using this template that I filled in down here. And we now have a sales order to our brand new customer. And of course, you would continue with your normal process for sales orders here. So as you can, actually, let me jump back to the list of customers. So as you can see, we have a new customer down here. So earlier I talked about contacts here, and we filled in this profile questionnaire. Let's actually add Bob as a contact here. We now have some more information. This is a person contact. He happens to be employed by this company, but I actually could create him completely separately as well. I'm going to fill in his profile questionnaire. Oops. Notice that because he's a person contact, this profile questionnaire is quite different. It's aimed at people. And again, this is something you can modify. He's interested in golf. I could fill in other information here. Your choice as to what is appropriate, what you want to fill in. So we've started tracking information. We have information about our customers and contacts that are not customers yet. Let's take a look at some marketing campaign information. We're going to create a marketing campaign, and then we're going to pull in our contacts based on the things like the golf that we specified. So I'm marketing a new campaign. This is going to be for our, I don't know, summer sale or something like that. We can track various details for this campaign, current status and things like that. However, I'm going to jump immediately to segments. So a segment within a campaign is a group of communication that's going out. This could be mass email, this could be marketing flyers, it could be advertisers in some paper or something like that. You can create a segment and call it whatever you want. An example might be that you wanted oops, I got the spelling right. You wanted one marketing communication going out to your Ontario people, and then a separate one going out to Quebec. So in this case, you're defining multiple segments. So in this case, it happens to be sales territory, but it could be time-based. Maybe you want to do a follow-up after a month. Those would all be different segments. So right now in our segment, we've not done anything. There's no interactions that have been created. We haven't identified any people. So let's start adding some contacts to this list. So this screen that pops up for adding contacts is very long, and there's a huge number of options here. I'm not going to attempt to cover them all. I'm just going to point out a couple just to give you an idea of sort of the flavor of what can be done. Typically, the first thing you're going to do on this type is specify, are we talking about companies or people? First thing I want to send out is going to go to all companies, and I can specify, for example, to my Ontario, Quebec area, I could have a territory code, and actually my example don't match up here, but I could pick everybody in the Southeast Asian area, something like that. I'm actually going to take this out just so I can continue with other examples here. So I could come down here and continue filling out information, including based on profile questions, size of companies, things like that. I also can, I'm jumping right down to the bottom here for value entries. So this, despite the word value, this is actually your sales history. Maybe you want to reach out to all customers that bought something last year because you're interested in upgrades or extended warranties or that kind of stuff. I can say, automatically pull in all the contacts where they bought this particular item, and they happen to buy it in last year as an example. So in this case, all companies where we have sold them that particular item. Oops, looks like I missed a step there. Let me try that again. Companies, and I probably did not take out my profile questionnaire one. Let me actually do that again. There we go. So in this case, we have 5 companies that we have sold this to, and we now have a list of including things like the email address and mailing address and stuff like that that we can use to send out. So this particular example was based on sales. Another option is, I'm just hopping into a different segment just so I can start with a blank screen. Another option here is to look at the people involved, and you're trying to reach people with specific interests. For example, maybe you've got some golf event going on, and it would be nice to reach all the people that have an interest in golf. You saw me add it for Bob. This person I added shortly before starting recording. So now we can see which people are interested in golf and send out information. So for the actual sending, there is a printable cover sheet here. So if you wanted to do a printed report that you could send out, this would be like a brochure you're mailing. It may also be more appropriate to do an export of contacts. So in this case, this is going to create a spreadsheet. There's a large number of information you can include here. And this just generates a spreadsheet that you could use to import into, say, some sort of mass emailing tool that lets you track responses and stuff like that. So in this case, we've defined our list of contacts. We've sent out the mails, but we want to start turning this into a monthly event. As part of this segment within our marketing campaign, Business Central has remembered the criteria of how we got this. If I hop in here, in this case, we did an add contacts, and we specifically did it for golf and so on. I can save this, save the criteria for this segment so that I can reuse this every month. Golf may not be appropriate, but perhaps you wanted to do that follow-up example for the, say, the warranty 1 year after sale might be something. So you can save it. Next time you come back in for your next campaign or your next segment, you could reuse it. Another possibility here is you saw me add contacts using this button. However, you can also remove contacts. For example, perhaps you wanted to pull in everybody in a certain serials area or geographical area, and then remove the people that already bought a certain product, because there's no point in sending them a brochure for something they've already bought. Reduces your costs. So hopefully that'll give you an idea of how to use marketing campaigns and segments within those campaigns to do mass mailing to specific groups of contacts. So we've looked at creating contacts outside of the customer environment, doing a sales order directly to a contact, and how that will create a customer when you do win that business. We've looked very briefly at marketing campaigns and segments and how to select contacts that go in there. There's a bunch of additional stuff that can be done in marketing campaigns that I'm not going to try and cover today, but if you want to, say, create to-do items, tasks, for your salespeople to follow up and log interactions and the results of that, that certainly can be done. If you'd like more information on anything you've seen today or anything else about Business Central, please reach out to Modax Consulting. We'd be happy to assist with whatever question you've got. Thanks for your time.